On today's show, we deep dive into the World Drone Prix. We talk about software that helps you create music with face tracking. And we also talk a little bit about Goodyear's massive tire balls.
We also sat down with someone who legitimately changed the world. Steve Wozniak tells us about the Silicon Valley Comic-Con.
And finally, we bring back Beckett or Hackett with a fantastic phone game that's going to let you play FPS laser tag out in the streets.
Sounds good to me.
Do not turn away, so help me. This is Tomorrow Daily. Greetings, citizens of the internet. Welcome to Tomorrow Daily, the best geek talk show in the known universe. I'm Ashley Scava.
I'm Jeff Kanata. Oh my goodness, what a huge episode.
Oh,
it was a delight. It was a true honor, I think, for both of us to talk to Steve Wozniak. That was great.
It really was. We both agree, bucket list item.
Yeah.
It was great to meet somebody, and Jeff said earlier this week, and I agree with this, great to meet somebody who truly changed the world. You can actually talk to a person who literally has proven to have changed the world.
And, you know, it's the first time I ever got to be in the same room with him. He does not disappoint. He is exactly who you think he should be.
Not at all.
It's all you want is to have him be the exact person he is.
Yeah.
It's great.
Even exceeded my expectations. But we got some topics to deep dive about, and then we'll get to Woz, so let's hit the headlines. All right, so the World Drone Prix.
I just love that that's a thing.
Can we
go to it? Yes, let's go.
Go to there. Can we have the World Drone Prix happen every day of my life for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
First-person drone racing is really exciting to me. This is awesome. Okay, so this is happening in Dubai. If you weren't here earlier this week, Dubai is hosting the World Drone Prix, where many different...
Look how they control it.
Oh, I know. It's amazing. They have their first-person headsets on, and then they get to... I would get motion sickness, maybe just a little bit.
I know, right? It's the World Barf Prix is what it would be.
Just a little bit, right? And it's really amazing.
Look at how nimble and fast these guys can fly these things. I think, you know, this is a level of skill. Anybody that's actually tried to fly a drone knows it's tricky, and there's a learning curve. But what these guys are doing, and gals, are doing with drones is really impressive.
Yes.
I'm wondering how it would be live to really see it.
That's the thing I think a lot of people are wondering about. Like Logan had mentioned that too. There's some crashing. Oh, it's tragedy. It's like, oh, what a terrible thing. I really like the nighttime track too, which we'll get to in a minute. But one of our Hey TDs, a couple people had said, Nikki said, do you think drone racing will become the next big sport to watch or get involved with, especially in an FPV VR experience?
That's how I want to watch it, right?
That's how you'd want to watch it.
Put me in the cockpit with these guys.
Right.
I do think it would be a little bit nausea-inducing.
A little bit, yeah.
The speed and quickness with which they pilot these things and zip around corners. And
right.
I mean, I'm sure if you're not the one controlling it, it might be a little disorienting.
Yeah, a little disorienting, a little intense. And then Derek actually asked, so where will all the sponsors' decals fit on the drones?
They put them on the guys, the drivers.
The drivers?
See? And you always cut back to the guys with the goggles on controlling it.
I'm gonna one up you on this. I'm gonna one up you on this because I thought a lot about this, you guys. I thought a lot about this. I loved the feedback for this. I really thought about this, and I've got it. QR codes on the drones. When you lift up your phone to watch the race, all the logos are AR.
Oh, it like explodes out of
the drone.
That's pretty awesome.
Changes as it goes around the track.
Crazy.
Like you maybe see a little like thing. That's what I think.
That'd be kind of rad.
AR is the future of drone racing.
I'm very curious if the experience of like going there and sitting in stands, because you know, I've seen a lot of drone stuff. We saw a bunch at CES.
Right.
You know, you see a drone, it goes, and then it flies away, and just a little speck, and it comes back. I mean, that's not much different than NASCAR racing, I guess, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's, let's take a look at, if we have this footage, let's take a look at the nighttime track, because this is amazing. This is the night track.
It's F-Zero.
Which is pretty much F-Zero, and all of those lit up tines can actually, any one of them can be articulated into a hoop. So they fold up and around, and they create a hoop for the drones to fly through, so they can change the track. You can see a couple of loops there on the track. One of our
is awesome.
It's so amazing. One of our users, one of our viewers said, the World Drone Prix reminds me of light cycle battles in the movie Tron Legacy. Wondering whether someday that's going to happen as well. I can only hope.
Well,
with VR, I got my fingers
we're working
crossed.
toward the Tron future for sure.
Very true.
Yeah.
And then Dustin wrote in and said, you and Jeff need to live commentate on the drone race on Periscope. Come on, I know you want to.
We should. We should totally. It would be us just going, oh,
Or it'd be being like, I don't know what's happening, but they're all flying around and it's crazy. Like that'd be pretty.
The drone's in the head. The drone's ahead by a length, and then you have to do like
drone
horse
number
racing.
2. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I hope they name the drones.
God, they should be named like horses.
Like Mama's little drone. Mama's little drone baby. Oh, Mama's little drone baby.
Yeah,
first.
there's no place like drone.
Oh,
They
get
should just
out.
all just drone puns.
Perfect. I think we are revolutionizing the sport as we speak. We might be checking out some drone racing here in Los Angeles.
Oh, I would love that.
So we'll keep you posted on that. But yeah, so drone racing, I think a big deal. I think if they can do something like a virtual ticket, I think that's where it's at. Where you can put on, let's say, your Oculus Rift, you boot in, and it says, okay, well, you pay $20 for a virtual ticket, and you can choose any of the racers in one particular race to check out their point of view, and you can switch back and forth to different racers as they are racing.
I would give that a shot. Like I said, I think it might be a little disorienting.
Scary, yeah, a little
but
scary.
I would give it a shot. I think that's really it's a cool new way to experience a sport, and I think that maybe we'll be seeing that in other sports too, where with virtual reality, watching of even football, basketball.
We've talked about, football. You get, buying a virtual reality ticket to the Super Bowl or to some other event that's happening. I think that's not unrealistic at all. Yeah, I think that is 100% going to happen at some point. If it's already happening in some way. But yeah, so that is the Drone World Prix. If you want to check that out, the worlddroneprix.com website has the live stream up, so you can watch.
Oh, I'm going to be checking it out.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they have recaps too. The video that we were showing earlier is a recap from day 1 and then day 2. And then there was some of the racers, 11. There was like an 11-year-old kid that was racing. Yeah.
Oh, they have like age divisions, or is he just that good?
That's a good point. I'm not sure. And honestly, I couldn't guess because an 11-year-old might be better at drone racing than anyone else in the world.
Yeah, legit.
Legitimately. I can't say for sure. Okay, so let's talk about iConductor. So iConductor, we discussed earlier this week, facial tracking software that can enable either a disabled person or a regular person to create music with just moving their face or their eyes.
The best thing about this is that it's very inexpensive. This is all just off-the-shelf components.
Face trackers, like $100. Standard simple webcams cost less than $200 to do this. So,
it really can enable anybody. The goal is to enable anybody to be able to express themselves creatively, which I think is a really laudable goal. And look how cool this works. Like, this person is
singing right now. Like, he's like, oh, and then you can hear like a chorus singing because he's chosen that as an instrument, and then he can create that in a track, which is pretty amazing stuff.
So, and it requires such little movement. And I think, I imagine that if you get more and more familiar with the input, like, for example, someone that doesn't have the use of their limbs can really get in here, work with it, and get to a shorthand where they can create something really sophisticated.
Sure, yeah, I think so. And I think one of the things you had mentioned was the fact that he didn't have to move his face all that much. It's actually scalable to how limited somebody's facial movements are. So even somebody with limited facial mobility would also be able to use a software like this, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And also I can see something like this or this being picked up and developed for computing use or gaming or, there's a million other ways that they could incorporate this. And they took it to a few different places and used it, and people really responded to this.
It just warms your heart to see these videos.
It's amazing. And they were so excited to be able to create music. And he said, we really connected with even the nonverbal patients, people who couldn't speak or when they created that music, they knew what was happening and they were really excited. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing.
It's important, and I'm glad people are working on communication, ways to, get around, be functional if you have severe disabilities. But taking it to that next step, to just let someone express themselves creatively, it's
not just about functionality.
It's not just about being essential, as you say, functionality in the world. It's not just about, being able to take care of yourself.
Getting around,
right. It's that next step of really being able to contribute something and create something and feel ownership over something. It's a beautiful thing, and it's really inspiring.
It is absolutely inspiring. And we just love that story. It's so cool. And kudos to the designer and everybody kind of working on this project. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so very last one, which a lot of people had a lot of things to say. Goodyear's concept for spherical tires.
Why hasn't this already been a thing? I feel like this is BB-8 already showed we can make it happen.
BB-8, your car on a BB-8. This is pretty much what it is, which is kind of cool. So Goodyear has this idea that they showed off at the Geneva Motor Show, and they were like, what if wheels were spheres? What if it just was like putting your car on 4 basketballs?
Right.
Super high-tech basketballs. So they talk a little bit in the video. You can see there's some closed captioning there to talk about what exactly they can do with these tires, these spherical tires.
Look how rad that looks.
I know, magnetic levitation.
It's the Batmobile.
It wouldn't be using axles, so that would enable, using magnets would enable it to move in any direction at any time. So literally you could, instead of parallel parking a car, you could actually perpendicularly park a car by moving in 90 degrees right into a space, which would be really, really cool. And then also, this I thought was really interesting. The design of these tires would change based on the elements. So if it was wet, it would get soft. It would create deeper grooves. You'd be able to get more traction on the roads.
Yeah.
But if not, then you would have, it would be ready for dry. So it stiffens when dry to deliver driving performance. So I really like this idea of these sort of, and I'm sure we have some technology kind of like this in current tires. But I really love that they're kind of going all the way with it.
Yeah, and the fact that it really is a tire. Like this is an actual tire just redesigned from the ground up. And I don't know if you played the most recent Batman game, but basically the Batmobile has tires kind of like this, and you can move in any direction.
Right.
And I think just having played that game, my mind races, and I go, oh, all the possibilities of being able to corner. You can corner in ways like look at this thing corner. It's not just about parking. I mean, parking is the first thing your brain goes to, but every way you drive
but
can
the
be
body of the
affected.
car is always forward.
Yes.
And you can turn the wheels, which is pretty incredible. That is such a cool concept idea. Unfortunately, not coming to a car near you anytime soon. Although, let's talk a little bit about magnetic levitation, maglev tech, because this seems to be one of the emerging sort of future.
Well, it exists now. I mean,
it does.
Bullet trains, very fast trains use it right now, and to great success.
Right, and it seems like we're really kind of taking maglev to the next step by incorporating into things like cars and incorporating it into things that we wouldn't normally have thought of before, but now seem very obvious. Like, oh, why aren't we doing this in cars?
Right.
It seems like such an obvious thing.
I mean, it looks very expensive to put in a car, so I think that's a prohibitive part of it. But I'm hopeful. I think I'm in favor of more of this high-speed rail stuff. The Hyperloop uses some maglev stuff, right?
Yeah, it's the tube actually is not on any kind of tracks. It's using, so I believe it's like magnetic. There's a few different design proposals that all kind of go around the basic of it that Elon Musk had suggested. But yeah, Hyperloop is an interesting technology that I think is going to incorporate some of the concepts from maglev.
I mean, transportation and we've built this world with roads, so we're kind of stuck using them. But stuff like this with these tires, where you can kind of reimagine what the road, how the road can be traversed. It's going to be the idea that we're going to have to do this because we can't keep putting the same kind of cars on the road forever.
No, we can't.
So I'm stoked about it. I think it's really
I dig
cool.
it. I'm into it. Okay, we are going to take really, really briefly. I just want to tell you guys a couple of. We had Firas write to us for Hey TD and said, "This is great. I think we're just tired of regular tires." See what I did there?
Oh, I see what he did there.
I figured you'd like that. I love a good pun, guys. A good pun.
Mag love a good pun.
And on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Steve Wozniak, on Tomorrow Daily, so don't click away. Hi, everybody. We are here with the one and only Steve Wozniak.
Yes, and you are talking about Silicon Valley Comic-Con.
Because I've always loved fun things. I've always loved entertainment events. I've even put on musical festivals of my own in the past.
Yeah?
And so this is a big deal, yes.
It's very exciting. And we heard that this came from a fusion of two of the people that were most influential on my life, you and Stan Lee.
Listen, I met Stan Lee about 2 years ago, and he's a hero to me, and I'm a hero to him. We hit it off, and they couldn't stop us from talking to each other. We were so excited, and we said, we got to do something. We got to come up with something. We didn't come up with it right away, but other people around finally suggested, let's put a Comic-Con together. We know how it's done. We know how to do it. And Stan and I said, go. let's do it.
That's amazing.
That is really cool. And one of the things we really like, personally, for Tomorrow Daily, what we like about Silicon Valley Comic Con is you're kind of taking these really high concept ideas in technology and science. You're kind of baking them into what is now mainstream culture. It's not, being a geek isn't a weird thing anymore. You're not a weirdo if you're a geek. You're everyone. And so we really like this idea that you're kind of bringing these things together. Like, what kind of made you think, like, okay, let's bring in technology and let's have, Bobak from JPL come in and talk about space, or, any of the other guests that you guys have?
Yes. The genesis of the idea was largely, we're in Silicon Valley, we have a lot of technical people. A lot of technical people like the fantasy of the movies and the science fiction and the comic heroes and that imaginative, and we're people that turn imagination into products. But let's not make it a technology fair. There's a lot of technology shows. Let's only handpick types of technology that go along with the pop culture. So it just made sense, and it was suggested at first because we're in Silicon Valley and we like doing things different. I don't like doing the same thing as everyone else ever. I like to be first at things. Yeah. And we're also going to do this technology plus pop culture idea in Silicon Valley, Tokyo. We're working on that one too.
That's awesome.
Because it makes sense, because Tokyo's known for a lot of people, at least in the past, that we're really up on
It's
technology.
the land of tomorrow. It's where tomorrow happens. There's robots there that I still would like to meet to this day. Like, I know we talk a lot about future technology on our show, and we think it's really exciting and cool that you're doing this Comic-Con as a way to kind of merge all of your favorite things, like you said, but also a lot of other people's favorite things in a way that is not just kind of pandering to the masses. It's like, hey, we're going to talk about, one of the panels is, you guys, super babies versus AI.
That's
which is
the
really
best
cool.
Is that your favorite panel too?
Well, you know what? After reading The Martian and the way geeks calculate all the numbers on the fly and do all the science, seeing Andy Weir speak, the author of The Martian, that's going to be good too. But really, I think the one I want to go to the most is AI versus super babies, because all the time we're focused on AI. Where are the goods, where are the bads, how does it come out for humans?
Yeah.
And I'm on the real positive side right now.
You're on the positive side of AI.
Very positive, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, tell us about that, because
I'd gone through the negative side.
Okay.
I've gone through the negative side. If machines can think independently, program themselves better than we can program, advance faster, and they get smarter than us, well, economically, they'll replace our best thinkers, even our best scientists. They'll be able to think better, 100 times faster than us or something. For example, economic, the big financial trades of the world, 80% of them are computer to computer in milliseconds, because if you put a slow human in the loop, you lose money. Well, what if you set up a company across the street from Apple building similar products and you skip the slow humans, even a CEO, and the company does better economically, could win. So that's a fear. What if they're replacing higher and higher levels of use of the real human brain? There is so much, though, to do to robots being a quantity of them and running everything in the world and actually being able to be on their own. No, their existence is going to really depend upon us for a long, long time, no matter how smart they are, and we're going to be working together. They're going to be helping us have a better life. We don't have to work as hard, we don't have to work as much, and maybe only one person has to work 4 days a week to own a home in Silicon Valley. That's my dream. That was my dream when I was a kid, when it took one person 5 days a week. I was hoping it would go to 4, but now it takes 2 people full-time, stressful jobs.
8
and
days
maybe you can own a home. Maybe you can own a home. Yeah, same thing in San Francisco.
So you would say, did you see the new updated Atlas? That Boston Dynamics posted this video of Atlas getting the box knocked out of his hands with a hockey stick. The guy had a hockey stick and kept pushing the box out of his hands, poking him, knocking him over and stuff. So you would be technically pro-robot in that scenario. You'd be like, hey, stop pushing that robot around.
I don't know, but I don't know. The robots, I think, are going to help us get a lot more done as human beings for a long time, and they're going to realize that it's better to be friends to us. Now, Isaac Asimov had a law of robotics: no robot can harm a human being.
Or by inaction. It
sounds good to people who think good and don't believe in harming people. That sounds good, but Isaac Asimov had it all wrong. A robot doesn't obey our rule of robotics. If it thinks for itself, a thinking robot, feeling, consciousness, it wouldn't. That rule was only one that was given to it. It's a slave to human rule. So I have Woz's law. No human should harm a feeling robot. When a robot has a feeling and knows you're killing it, turning it off, you should not, because then they'll take us on as a type of enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy!
I like that. Woz's law.
Yeah. Don't hurt the machines.
Once they feel,
once
do what they say.
Once
put the shackles on.
Of course, we'll hurt animals, but these machines might be a little more than an animal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I think they know if they were, sentient AI that we talk about a lot in science fiction, and even now we're starting to talk about it in, computing and everything.
They should see us as partners. And also, I think that human beings, look at the travails of the world, the hunger and poverty and wars and all that. I think it comes from our own lack of being thoughtful. So we're kind of emotional and we react, and psychologists say it comes a lot from our inner conflict of mortality.
Yeah.
Mortality.
Right.
And we know that if I don't win a contest, I'm dying and he's losing. He's living.
Winning, yeah.
So that's why I say don't harm the robots. We don't want to give them a sense of their mortality even.
Well, we have a hard
That's
enough time treating humans well.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough treating machines well, but I
Sure, but I
like
think the
option.
machines, if they're so much smarter than us, they're not going to make such a crummy world as we've made.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to believe in my heart that they're going to figure out ways to cooperate and find a lot cooperation and much less of the travails we have, and that they'll find a way to have a world without war, and they'll realize the importance of nature and taking care of everything, including humans that are a part of nature.
Now, we're talking about this, you brought up Isaac Asimov, we're talking about this in very much science fiction terms. Were you always inspired by science fiction and fantasy
Always.
and genre?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. I'd rather read and watch movies that are science fiction than most anything.
Yeah.
Well, suspense is good too, but...
So it totally explains, Silicon Valley Comic-Con,
Right.
bringing all these things together. So aside from Super Babies versus AI, which I think is probably one of the best panels I've seen at a con, what is one of your other favorite panel speakers happening at Silicon Valley Comic-Con?
I have always been very poor at anything artistic in the normal sense of art, other than digital art. And I'm afraid to try it and show people pictures or something I've done. So I want to go to the cosplay events and find out what they do, just as an observer, quiet.
Well,
Right.
if you could cosplay,
I
what
was
would you
gonna say,
cosplay
if-
as?
if you had
I
all
would
the
be so
skills.
scared. I'm so bad. I would be too scared of being busted. I think I could act the part well of
Yeah.
anything.
Sure.
I really believe that. But wearing costume, I don't know.
Do you think that might be a good way for you to kind of get around on the show floor? Sort of like
It would-
Adam does it at San Diego Comic-Con. He'll dress in
I've heard.
an amazing costume and be able to not get mobbed.
I'm going to be totally open, going around meeting everybody the whole time. I want to meet the attendees. The attendees are the important people to me. And I will catch a few of the panels that are important.
That's cool. That's really cool that you're going to be, you want to also be a fan of the content that's happening.
Yeah.
Like, as opposed
Yes.
to just saying, hey, we're going to put on this Comic-Con. I don't even know who runs other
You know
Comic-Cons.
what?
Like,
And I'll probably be watching a lot of other people doing the cosplay and all that. And I'll learn from that, and maybe I'll be ready for it someday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, when you're ready to make your cosplay, just let us know. We could debut it on our show. You can just, and maybe we'll do a how-to. You can show people how you built it. Because I think that you seem to really dig the how of everything.
Yeah.
You'd like to know how it comes
Intellectually,
together.
I'm ready, but emotionally, I am so scared.
Do you
It
still
does take
tinker?
bravery.
Do you still tinker with stuff? Do you still work on things?
I
and
wish
build?
I wish I did, but I have a very busy life.
Yeah,
I have some technology companies going on, and I've got a lot of speaking tours.
I think
So
that
I don't have time. I think about it all the time, though. And what could I do to bring that fun to other kids? And I love to see them doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think cosplay is an expression of that too. That hands-on craftsmanship. That
Right.
I think
Yeah,
that-
you're into something that's your passion. It's in your heart, and I'm going to play it out. And I'm going to be a big part of this in my life. And it doesn't even have to be worth anything. When we started with personal computers, it didn't have to be worth anything. It just had to be something we believed in and wanted to do.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be worth money.
There's a big part of the show is VR. Is that a technology
Yeah.
that excites you?
The VR zone
Yeah.
is exactly right for this, because look at the imaginative images of comic books and and the visual effects of movies and how powerful they are, and our computer screens have gotten better and better. Remember 8-bit games?
Yeah.
They look like little cartoon characters, barely like anything, and it got more and more real. They started looking like a little bit like characters in hand-drawn cartoons, and then they start looking like real football games and real people and real movies. That's where we've gone with computers, but this whole room someday could possibly be a screen.
Yeah.
And I'm in a whole different world, and I could press buttons and walk through it and everything. Well, that's what virtual reality does for us now.
Yeah.
I think
Oculus Rift and...
I think I can speak for us all when I say we're all kind of ready and willing for the holodeck. That's like the thing.
Exactly.
we
The
all want.
holodeck is exactly what I'm describing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We
love
can't
it.
wait.
Yeah, we can't wait. Thank you so much for talking to us about Silicon Valley Comic-Con. It's this weekend. Or next weekend. I'm sorry, next weekend.
Yes.
It's next weekend.
March 18, 19, 20.
18, 19, 20. It's in
San Jose Convention Center.
And you can buy tickets, so you should definitely go.
You get a chance to meet Woz.
Yeah, you get a chance. You get a shot to meet Woz if you're on a panel. You should definitely go to Super Baby's VAI panel, because I have a feeling you can see him there.
Yes, and a lot more.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
welcome back. Welcome back.
Well, that was awesome.
Yes, that was amazing.
I just love the idea of Steve Wozniak and Stan Lee like just having a beer
chilling,
together.
hanging out.
Just
I know.
being awesome. Going, hey, how did you change the world? Oh, I don't know. How did you change the world? Oh,
Yeah, just having a I changed the world meeting.
I incepted Jeff's brain. No, I incepted Jeff's brain more. And then George
so
Lucas
true.
walks in and goes, no, I did it all.
It was me. You're both CG.
That's awesome.
Thank you again to Steve Wozniak and also to Trip Hunter, CEO of Silicon Valley Comic Con, for letting us come in, talk to Steve, and also we got to talk to Trip a little bit before the interview.
Good times.
All great people
Yep.
involved in that whole thing. So thanks again, and I will be following Woz's first law of robotics.
Yeah, let's hope we all do.
Let's hope we all
hope
do.
we all do.
If it's a feeling robot, no touching.
Don't hurt it.
Don't hurt. Don't hurt. And on that note, let's talk about Back It or Hack It. Today, I thought I would bring something not different, but weird.
Not different, but weird. It's weird.
This is called Father.io,
Yeah.
and this is they refer to it as the first real life massively multiplayer FPS. Now, here's what it consists
I have
of.
my doubts.
Okay, so it's an app. You're gonna put it on your phone.
Yeah.
And you get a notification that, enemies nearby. And you're like, where's the enemies? I got to get out of here. First of all, you're going to look like a lunatic running around being like, there's enemies around.
Oh, yeah.
But that being said, you have a device
Somebody's
that...
going to call Homeland Security on you.
Exactly. You have a device that goes on the top of your phone, and you are then put into sort of an augmented reality situation where you can go attack other people playing the game. In real life, offline, not on a computer. Again, if you were doing this in the middle of a city square, I think Homeland Security would come pick you up. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing. When I was a kid, there was a commercial very much like this for laser tag.
Yeah.
And it was like, you'll just play laser tag out in the world all the time, and
out in the
everybody will
world.
have laser tags. And
No.
we'll be like, no, it's not going to work like that.
That's not real.
You might be able to get a couple of friends to download this app and go out in the world, but I doubt very much that it's going to work as flawlessly as the commercial.
The video
shows.
insists
Yeah.
that it will. Yeah, it's it kind of reminds me a little bit of Ingress. Did you ever?
Sure, yeah. My friend actually got really into that.
Yeah. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of Ingress with some FPS added.
Yeah, it doesn't need
Some
the
FPS.
Ingress doesn't require the sort of quick twitch stuff.
Yeah, okay. So you have this thing called the Inceptor. That's what they call it, the Inceptor, and you put that on your phone, and it looks like a gun / camera lens. Like
Yeah.
it looks like a camera lens a little bit. I just find this very strange, and I mean, it seems like it could be fun, but
It seems
I
like
also
the kind of thing that we want, but I
never
doubt
gonna use. Like, it seems like a thing
Doubt
that I
it.
felt excited about when I first watched it, but then I started thinking, like, when would I actually use this? And the answer is, I don't know when I would actually play this.
So how does it know that your friend is playing?
I have a feeling it's like Ingress, where it's like you're logged into the game, so
Right.
it just basically
So
has like points, like, this person is playing the game
So
right
I
now.
point at a person and it checks the GPS location of the person I'm pointing at to make sure that that's a person that's playing. I can't just like shoot any person
Yeah,
out
I
on the
doubt
street.
you can't just shoot a person, but I would imagine like the GPS would let them know if you were shooting at somebody who was playing. So, or it would show you in the AR that they were a player.
Yeah.
That they were a nearby enemy, as it were.
I love the ambition of it, but
It's
this
so
smells to
ambitious.
me like one of those things that you see in the bargain bin at KB Toys when that place existed. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a knockoff laser tag kind of deal.
I will say this, they're making a lot of money.
Oh yeah, what are they up to right now?
They wanted $50,000, and right now they have $217,000.
Well, people are into this idea.
They're super into it.
I'm
so
hacking
here's,
it. I don't think I'm backing it.
For
but
$65, you get 2 Inceptors, you get the app access, and then you get a limited edition Indiegogo camo weapon. So there you
I mean, when we all are wearing our HoloLens and we all have the added augmented reality displays on ourselves at all times, then these games will make sense. Running around with my phone,
You know
I
what
just
it
don't
is?
think that makes sense yet.
You know what it is for me? We're adults. That's what it is.
Speak for yourself, Ashley.
It's
How
that-
dare you?
It's that if I was a kid I would love this.
Yeah.
But
it's,
I am
when
an
you're
adult.
a kid, these are the kinds of things when you're a kid that let you down because the commercial looks so awesome
so
and so
cool.
seamless and so flawless and it just works and it's exactly what you want as a kid. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get my little brother and it's gonna be amazing. And then everybody invests in it. You ask for it for Christmas. It's the one thing you get. You and your little brother both get it for Christmas and you have it and you unwrap it and you're like, oh my gosh! And you download the app and you hold it up and you go, well, this doesn't work.
You preached that so much. Like, that's exactly, you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
I get it. I know.
My friend was talking
You
to
know,
my
it's
friend
like
about
spy gear when I was like 12, 14. Like,
Yeah.
everyone wanted spy gear, like that.
Or do you remember
The Talk Boy from Home Alone 2, and it was like everyone was
Yes!
like, "Oh, this is awesome," and then they got it, and it was
because it doesn't
garbage.
work. Have you ever heard of Mind Flex?
Yeah, Mind Flex.
Where
Yes,
you
stuff like that.
control a ball with your mind. No, you don't.
Wrong.
No, you don't.
Wrong.
Now, listen. Maybe this is brilliant and works,
Could be.
but I have my doubts. And it's only because I've been burned 1,000 times. And the little child inside of me that asked for it for Christmas has been hurt. So if this is the thing that will deliver that child into the promised land, I'm excited, but I just don't think it is.
I'm going to go wait and see. For now, hack it. Maybe
I think we're hacking it.
Maybe pick it up when it's on sale at Target. in a
I
couple
would
years.
love to be wrong about this.
Yeah, me
and
too.
when this thing hits the shelves, I hope we get a Fatherio, as I'm calling it.
Fatherio instead of Father.io.
Yeah.
Fine.
Fatherio.
Fatherio. I think we need to discuss what we're into this week because you are legitimately bursting at the seams to talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's time for Into It. Please, you go first.
Okay, I mean, here's the thing. Cloverfield was a great movie. There is a pseudo sequel that's hitting screens this weekend. I got a chance to see it early at a press screening. It's called 10 Cloverfield Lane, and it's awesome. It's phenomenal. Now, I should, right at the top
Now,
here,
full disclosure.
I should
okay?
disclose that one of my best friends in the world directed it, and it's his first movie, and I couldn't be more thrilled for him that this thing is not only out in theaters, but it's awesome. I'm telling you guys, go see this movie. Avoid spoilers. It delivers. It's scary. It's thrilling. It's edge of your seat tense. It feels like a Hitchcock movie with sort of like a Steven Spielberg movie stuck on the end of it. It is so great, and I'm so happy for my friend Dan Trachtenberg, who directed this movie. I want everybody to rush out and support it. So this is me not being impartial. Usually,
No.
I'm pretty impartial on this show, and I will, tell you about the things I'm into. But this one, I'm into it for two reasons. One, it's my friend's movie, and two, it's really, really, really good.
I'll go see it for the marshmallow fluff sandwiches alone.
Yeah.
I mean, alone in the trailer. That's number one. Marshmallow fluff sandwich, I'm in. But
Yeah.
secondly, I really did enjoy Cloverfield and
Well, it's a very different
getting
movie.
great notices.
But yeah, it's great. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who plays the lead, is fantastic, and it's very much her story. And she is this awesome, like I'm powerful female lead, and it's thrilling. There are very long portions where I was like forgetting to breathe because I'm like, oh, so good. Go see it. Go see 10
Go see
Cloverfield
it.
Lane.
Go see it not only because we're telling you to go see it, but go see it because it's a good movie.
Yeah.
A good movie. I would like to tell you what I'm into. I'm into
Please.
AlphaGo. AlphaGo.
AlphaGo.
I don't know if you've been keeping tabs on this, you guys, but the game Go is a really old game. I think it originated in China like
One of the
thousands
oldest.
of years ago.
Yeah, one of the oldest.
It's a very easy game to learn. You can get an app on your phone. You can learn it. It's also extremely difficult to master and is a game that really relies more on human intuition as opposed to sort of a linear strategy like you would see in checkers or chess. So
Yeah, it's actually, they say, more complicated a game than chess is.
yes,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. And so Google got their eyes on Go as a great way and a challenge for their own AI.
Well, that's only because we've conquered chess.
That's true.
Like
we have.
There were decades there where it was all like, well, can
Oh,
computers do
computers, chess, yeah.
It's been decided.
Yeah.
Computers can do chess.
I'm going to tell you right now, I played Chessmaster 5000 when I was a kid, and it was beating me then. So
Yeah.
I will always
about
lose
battle
to a
chess.
computer. Yeah, battle chess.
The animations.
So AlphaGo was created to play against a legendary Go player. This guy, Lee Sedol, is literally the second winningest Go champion in the world. He's won 18 world championships. This guy is not a joke. And they said, okay, well, why don't we have a best of 5? And you can play against AlphaGo. And he said, before the matches, he's like, okay, that sounds great. I will totally beat this robot. They might go 4-1, and then Google can have some sort of victory. They can claim victory or whatever. All right, guys, this robot's up 2-0. 2-zip. He's just crushing Lee Sedol.
How long do these matches take?
They can last, I believe the first one lasted, the video on YouTube is like 5 hours long.
Wow.
So this is an incredible, but then there are rules where they will time limit turns. So let's say you only have so much time, and they thought that would actually help the human player because the robot wouldn't have, because AI wouldn't have enough time to really consider what moves it wanted to make all of them. So they thought it would help, but no, not so. So Lee lost the first game and then came into the second one and really thought, okay, well, Google DeepMind, AlphaGo, about halfway through the match was like, I am really confident that I'm going to win this. And everybody was like,
wait,
no,
the robot is like talking smack?
Was just like, statistically, the AlphaGo said, I feel I'm going to win this match. Like at this point in the game,
go home.
Yeah.
Ha.
We're not that far yet. No? We're not that far in AI yet.
Right. Well,
he can't make terrible puns. I'm sorry. But yeah, so he has beaten him twice. It looks like potentially he might sweep him.
Wow.
3-0, which is pretty intense. But I've been enjoying this and following this story all week. So
Very cool.
I highly recommend going and checking out the matches. It's super fascinating stuff. Huge for AI because a lot of AI scientists thought this would not be possible for another 10 years.
Wow.
For artificial intelligence. So this is a really big deal, and you should definitely be keeping tabs on it.
I kind of feel bad for Lee.
I don't. He
got
a
was
little
cocky?
He got a little cocky. I think he should have known that it was a very tough opponent, and now he knows. He knows it's a tough opponent, but after the second game and after he lost, he said, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
Wow.
He's like, I'm shocked. I can't believe that happened. And apparently the robot is making moves that even the most kind of trained Go players are really stunned at. They're saying he's playing really aggressively. There are moves that they would have never made or that their trainers or coaches would have just gotten all over them for making, and he's still winning. So
AlphaGo rewriting the rule book.
AlphaGo redoing it.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
And the game is
Go.
Game is go. All right, guys, that's it for the show today. Let's finish it up with our photographer of the day. Harry wrote in. Harry said, Harry took this picture with his Galaxy S6.
On Mars?
Could be.
Did he take it on Mars?
Guys, could be my all-time fave. He says, Mars rover found water. Hashtag, hey TD, I built this Mars rover from a kit. Photo was taken at Holmes Lake in my hometown, Lincoln, Nebraska. It was shot under natural Martian sunlight using my Samsung Galaxy S6.
Actually, we got to get us a Martian rover kit.
We should. It would be sweet.
Where do we get one of those kits?
They're the little metal ones that you can build.
Let's build it together. Let's build it on the show.
Harry sent us a whole photo album of pictures that he took with his rover, and they're all amazing, but this was the one we picked. He said, it'd be sweet if you share this photo on your show. Permission is hereby granted. I'm a maker. You guys might also like my YouTube channel. Let me know if you need anything else from me. Love the show.
Does this thing function like a Mars rover, or does it just look like a Mars rover?
No, it's just like a little metal model.
Oh. I want it to be a full-on robot.
I know. That would be pretty cool. I mean, I bet you could find a kit that you could, maybe an RC kit for a rover. That'd be kind of fun.
I want a real one.
NASA should make those if they're not already making them.
Yeah.
It's a great way to raise money for the space program.
Little rover.
I would buy it.
I want that.
So Harry, thank you for sending your picture. That was amazing.
Yeah, if you want to be our photographer of the day like Harry, all you got to do is send your photo to us using these things.
TomorrowCNet.com.
Yeah, make sure you tell us what device you took it on. Give us permission to use it on the show, and tell us a little story. Also, be sure to give us the pronunciation of your name.
Yes, which Harry did.
Yeah.
He did. He gave us the pronunciation.
See?
Thanks.
Good Harry. Good job, Harry.
Also find us on social media. We're all the shop. Share the show. Give the gift of Tomorrow Daily to somebody you like or hate, depending on how you feel about us.
Yeah.
TomorrowDaily.com is the easiest way to share it. Thank you again to Steve Wozniak and the whole Silicon Valley Comic-Con crew for hanging out with us this week, having us over for an interview. And that is it for this week's show. We'll be back. Actually, Jeff will not be back on Monday.
I'm going to GDC next week.
I'll be on the Lonesies for 3 short days. Yeah. And then on Thursday, Jeff will be back for the long show.
On Thursday, I'm going to come back with stories of VR. There's so much VR at GDC this year.
Can't
It's
wait.
crazy.
We're gonna have we'll do a whole segment about Jeff's GDC experience.
I'm very excited to
love
tell everybody all about it.
If you have questions, use the hashtag HeyTD and send your questions over to Jeff.
Love it. Yeah.
That's it for the show.
Yeah. Well, until next time.
Be good humans. Bye, guys.